SA Sports Show. Thanks for staying with us. Time to talk about golf, of course. Minjee Lee, a superstar for Australia now, winning the US Open. Gary Thompson joins us. Gary, what do we make of Minjee Lee?
Well, I mean, they up until I think it was August last year, they said she was certainly the best player in the world that hadn't won a major. So she got that done last August, and now she's gone on and won the US Open, which women's golf in America is. They've added a lot more money to their prize money, but this was just out of the ordinary with 10 million US up for grabs, and she got 1.8 US million. Yeah. And to put it in perspective, the girl who ran second, who's never won a tournament, she got just over $1 million, and that's the equivalent of winning 4 tournaments on the US circuit in the women. So it was just astronomical money, and outstanding for Minjee to play so well.
And she played very well, didn't she, Darkie? She never looked threatened to me at any stage of her rounds.
No, no.
And what's more, she's broken the record, the lowest score of in US Open women's history. Yep. She needed a bogey or better on the last, I believe, and had a bogey. But it's just that she looked calm, and they're a brilliant family because Min Woo, the brother, plays on the PGA Tour.
Yep. She's caddied for him. She's caddied for him a couple of times.
She caddied for him at the Masters in the Par 3 competition.
How would you be if you rocked out at your next tournament and said, "Oh, by the way, Minjee's just caddying for me there"? Oh, she any good on that? She's just on the US Open, so she might know what the thing about.
He's a brilliant player himself, mate. He's a really good player himself. Min Woo. He's a terrific player. He'll win. He'll win some big ones.
A couple of Aussies doing well on the course. Mate, does that make her? Does she become the next Ash Barty? You know, because she spoke, she was beautiful in the way she spoke. She commands the audience really well. You know, she kind of looks like falling into that next female athlete that we go, wow, we've got another one.
I mean, she's come from,
I think she actually slipped outside the top 10 in the world, but she's back to number 3, and she's she's heading for number 1 in the world. So, great effort.
And never had an Australian sponsor. That really, really surprised me. I only read that just in the last couple of days, but Min Woo never had Minj never had an Australian sponsor. I bet she gets a few now.
I'm sure she will.
I'm big confident of that.
I think it was up to about 2 years ago she didn't have an Australian sponsor. Now, I mean,
I think she's okay.
I don't know who the sponsors are on her shirt. I can't read South Korean. But,
no, that's right.
But, you know, there's an awful lot of, they've certainly looked after her.
But she was born here. There's they came out here when she was 8 or something. They're born in Perth.
Sure. Yeah. No, exactly.
Good on her. I've been waiting for her to do this because she's a brilliant player.
All right, let's get to the Simpson Cup, mate. We thought it looked like there was a bit of a gap, and then suddenly the rain came, mate. Just for the viewers, explain what that's meant. No games played last week, and unfortunate for the Vines, of course, because it was at home for them. But what's it mean?
We still think we were going to beat them, but that's beside the point. No, it's I think now Royal Adelaide are safe, but from 2nd to 6th, there's one game separating the 5 teams. And with 2 games to go, and everybody's got to play one of those, a couple of the teams got to play 2 of them in the top 5. We've got to play Royal Adelaide next up, and then we've got Southern in our last game. Now, Flagstaff Hill and Southern haven't won a game. I'm not saying they won't win a game, but, we would be counting, if we can get over Royal Adelaide, we would be counting on beating Southern and then, going through to the semi-finals. But Grange and Tea Tree Gully, who were down to play Southern and Flagstaff last week, they would have penciled in the win, and all of a sudden it's a half. So instead of them jumping up out of our reach and out of a few other clubs' reach,
it's brought them all back.
It's brought the Vines and Glenelg right back into contention. So I can't recall in my time ever watching Simpson Cup there, they had 6 sides so close together, just one slip up, and it doesn't take much to slip up and lose. So it's going to be fantastic finish now. Unfortunately, we got this week off. So we come back in a fortnight and have a crack, but it's we'll know more after that next game, because there's a couple of really crucial games in that. So
very quickly, mate. The Live Golf Tour, Greg Norman run Saudi tour now. That's got some big names and whatever. Tiger Woods. Tell me about Tiger.
Well,
very quickly.
I just read this morning, it's just come out that he was offered $1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion
to sign on.
And said?
No,
not enough.
You know, I'm going back to so it's.
Please.
I mean, well, you just see Dustin Johnson. Now, for the life of me, I can't understand him going to do. I know money talks all languages, but he got 150 million US just to sign on.
Yeah.
Now they're playing for 35 to 45 million every week.
Yeah.
You win it, there's 4 or 5 million jumps in all the time, and he's going to. I mean, there's only 48 playing in this first one.
Wow.
So Phil Mickelson signed on this morning. He's definitely going to. I mean, he'd signed on for about 300 million, but he's now going to play. Just money just seems to have got out of hand. But luckily, we've got 6 Australians going there that'll got a bit of a chance. You know, like our journeyman from Adelaide, Wade Ormsby.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's a damn good player, and I wouldn't be expecting him to run last in it, but. Last gets 160 million US, 160,000 US for running last. So it is crazy money right now. They're playing for.
Gary, always enjoy your input, mate. The Simpson Cup gets a little bit of a break, of course, mate. But Baz and I are off to the golf course to quickly sign for $1 billion to play in the Green Norman tournament. Not sure what we're offering, mate, but we're keen to say yes and take his money. Hey, stay with us. A little bit more to come.
Cheers, guys.